What happens when someone looks at Sonny Corinthos, the man whose name alone can change the mood of an entire room, and calmly says, "Don't worry, I can handle Sonny." On General Hospital, those words could mean confidence, confrontation, or the beginning of a dangerous new chapter. Sonny has spent years building a reputation as someone people either respect, fear, love, or desperately try to understand. So when someone believes they can handle him, the real question becomes, do they actually know what they're getting themselves into? In this video, we're breaking down the latest General Hospital spoiler storyline surrounding the ominous statement, what it could mean for Sonny, which characters may be caught in the middle, and why this situation could create major emotional and dramatic consequences in Port Charles. Of course, spoilers and previews often reveal only pieces of a larger story. A single line can sound completely different once viewers understand the circumstances behind it. So rather than assuming exactly what will happen, we'll separate what the spoilers appear to suggest from what remains unknown. Sonny Corinthos is not simply another character caught up in a disagreement. His history, relationships, influence, and emotional connections make almost every confrontation involving him more complicated than it initially appears. Someone might believe they have the upper hand because they understand Sonny's weaknesses. But Sonny has survived betrayals, personal losses, business conflicts, family problems, and enemies who underestimated him. That history matters because confidence can become dangerous when someone assumes Sonny will react exactly the way they expect. The phrase, "I can handle Sonny," therefore immediately creates tension. Is this person prepared for Sonny's emotional side, his protective instincts, and his ability to recognize when someone is trying to manipulate him? One of the biggest questions surrounding the spoiler is who is actually making the statement. The identity of the person matters almost as much as the words themselves. Someone close to Sonny might believe they understand him well enough to control the situation. Someone outside his inner circle could have an entirely different motive. The line could even be intended to reassure another character who is worried about Sonny. But reassurance can sometimes hide a much more complicated plan. That uncertainty gives the storyline several possible directions, while allowing the actual episode to reveal the context gradually. The most important part of this storyline may ultimately be Sonny's response. Sonny can be incredibly protective of the people he cares about, but he can also become suspicious when he believes someone is interfering with his family, relationships, or business. If Sonny discovers that someone has underestimated him, will he confront them directly? Or will he remain calm and try to figure out what they are really planning? A quiet Sonny can sometimes be just as intimidating as an angry Sonny. That is why the upcoming confrontation could become more complicated than a simple argument. At the center of this storyline could be the question of trust. Who is genuinely trying to protect Sonny, and who might be using the situation for their own advantage? General Hospital frequently builds drama around characters who believe they are doing the right thing while hiding important information from one another. That creates misunderstandings, divided loyalties, and emotional confrontations. If someone claims they can handle Sonny, another character may have to decide whether to trust that confidence or warn Sonny before it is too late. What begins as one conversation could eventually involve several major characters. Sonny's relationships have a way of connecting different corners of Port Charles. A conflict involving him can quickly affect family members, friends, romantic interests, business associates, and longtime rivals. That means this spoiler could be setting up more than one confrontation. The bigger question is whether this storyline represents a temporary misunderstanding or the beginning of a much larger conflict that could continue for weeks. This is where it is important to separate confirmed spoiler information from speculation. A preview or spoiler can establish that a particular conversation, confrontation, or emotional moment is coming. It does not necessarily reveal the full motivation behind it or the ultimate outcome. So while "Don't worry, I can handle Sonny" sounds extremely confident, viewers should not automatically assume that the person saying it will actually succeed. There could be missing context, another character influencing the situation, or a twist that changes the meaning of the entire conversation. Several possibilities could emerge. Sonny could confront the person directly. Someone close to him could attempt to intervene. A secret could be exposed, or the situation could become personal in a way nobody initially anticipated. Another possibility is that the person who believes they can control the situation discovers that Sonny is already several steps ahead. That would fit the larger dramatic questions surrounding the storyline. Who really understands Sonny Corinthos better, the person claiming they can handle him, or Sonny himself? The real appeal of this spoiler isn't simply the possibility of another Sonny confrontation. It is the uncertainty surrounding relationships, loyalty, and control. Sonny has been at the center of countless General Hospital storylines because his relationships constantly force him to make difficult choices. When someone challenges him, viewers aren't only watching a confrontation. They're watching characters reveal what they truly believe about Sonny and about themselves. That makes this seemingly simple statement potentially much more significant. So, what does "don't worry, I can handle Sonny" really mean? For now, the biggest mystery is whether those words represent genuine confidence, a risky miscalculation, or the beginning of another major conflict for Sonny Corinthos. Whatever happens next, viewers should pay close attention to who is making the statement, why they believe they can handle Sonny, and what happens when Sonny realizes someone may be trying to take control of the situation. As always with General Hospital, the truth may be far more complicated than the first spoiler suggests. Stay tuned for the latest developments, and let us know what you think is really coming next for Sonny. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.